Hello everybody and welcome back to Glittered and Glued. If this is your first time here, welcome and thank you so much for joining me. So today I'm going to share with you an invitation that I am making for my youngest daughter is having a baby shower. So we are so super excited that I'm going to be a first time grandma, so yay! I'm so very excited. And so I decided I really wanted to make her invitations. And I'm like, okay, so what theme do you want to go with? And she said, I want to go with a picnic theme. I'm like, okay. So not your traditional baby shower stuff. But anyhow, it took me a moment to kind of figure out exactly what I was going to do. But this is what I actually came up with. I ended up doing this little picnic scene, if you will. You've got the checkerboard tablecloth, if you will. This is the background right there. And of course you've got the little ants and the watermelon. And then to make it baby shower themed, I went in and put a little stork with a little blue bundle of joy because she is having a boy. So we are all so super excited and can't wait. Let me show you what I used to make the cards, and then I'm actually going to make a card. So if you want to hang around and watch that, that's great. So let me show you what I used. I used the bright green cards from Hobby Lobby. I used some check pattern paper from Hobby Lobby as well. That's the kind of the background piece. That's kind of really what gives it that picnic feel. And this is exactly what inspired me to make this. And this is by Fawn. And this it's Happy Summer. And it's the little ants and the watermelon. And you got a bigger ant here and the little trail right there. And that is exactly what inspired the card from the beginning, I guess you would say. And then I just had to figure out how to incorporate something baby related into it. And so overall, so it's because it's not your traditional baby shower, I think I did pretty well with it. But guys, I am loving these Fawn stamps. These are so cute. This is the first time I've used a Fawn product and I'm hooked. So I'm loving it. The stamps just stamp so well. It's just unreal. I can't believe it. I'm like one stamp and that's all it takes. So I have the die that goes with it, and it cuts out the watermelon, the ants, and the ant trails. And this is what I'm using to make it more baby related. I use the +1. Let's see if you can see that there. The dies and the stamps. So I use the stork and the Let's Celebrate. So I still have a whole lot here that I can actually use. I might actually make the birth announcements. I'm not sure. This is honestly a lot of work. And I'm not generally a card maker. Actually, there are times where I struggle with making cards, and then there's times where I'm like, oh, this is easy, bam, 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 and I'm done. But this is probably the cutest thing, and I thought the Fawn worked so well because it is for a baby shower that it's also kind of outside of the norm of how I craft. But I'm loving it, and I'm like literally got a cart with stuff that is related to Fawn, you know, on my computer right now, just waiting to buy it because I just think it's so cute. So I will be buying more. But let me go ahead and give you a tip. Most of the packages that I bought I actually got from eBay, and I got it at a really, really good deal. If I can remember when I post the video, I'll post which eBay person I bought them from, because their prices were great. Far better than Amazon, better than scrapbook.com, better than some of the other stuff. And you know, I love eBay. I've been an eBay seller for, gosh, I don't know, 8-9 years. And so I'm very cautious about who I buy from, but I also know how to shop really well with eBay and watch the items, and I was patient in what I was looking for, and I just waited for them to market. You know, sometimes they'll do a 10%, a 12%, a 20%, and the prices were already cheaper than scrapbook.com or Amazon. You have to really watch Amazon. I use the Puffy Cloud borders, which there are 3 of those in here. You can see I'm still using these. I'm still got plenty of cards to make. I got about 20 of these suckers to make. So you get 3 of the Puffy Clouds. I love these Puffy Clouds. Love, 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 love. I will be using these again on another project as soon as I possibly can. Then what's not in here is the Grassy Borders. Let's see, well, I'm trying to show you the name there, which is this die right here. And it makes the cutest little grass pieces, and I'm going to show you that in just a minute. And I'm also using the Stitched Hillside Borders, and that's also part of the grass scene, so really cute. You get 4 of these. There's 4 in this pack. And then I'm using the outside in stitched rectangles, stackables. I'm loving these. When you do your die cut, you get the inside mat and an outside frame if you've cut your paper correctly. And I'm loving it, loving it, loving it. So, and this is what they look like. This is the smaller one. And somewhere over here I have the larger one. Oh, wait, let's see. My stuff's a mess over here on the side. And here is the larger one. This is the one I'm using to cut the picnic background. And this is the one I'm using to cut the sky background. So, let's just get right into it. So this is what I'm going to make. So hang around if you want to watch me just kind of make it. It's not going to take long because I've kind of pre-done everything. So here, this is what we have. So if you were going to do like a card swap kit, this would be perfect because you could cut out all the pieces. You could already have them colored out. Oh, and let me share with you what I use to color them. Guys, I cannot afford Copic markers. They're just way too far outside of the budget. I took a leap of faith and just hope for the best that the Firefly alcohol markers from Tuesday morning would work out, and they're okay. They're not phenomenal by any means, but they are okay. They worked for this because there was minimal coloring, but I am going to have to get me a good set of alcohol markers that, you know, blend well, that have multiple shadings. And I could, even if I had the money, I just don't think I could do Copic. I just don't. Maybe if I bought just a couple of them at a time, and then just kind of worked on building it up. But you know, when you want to do a project, you need the colors you need. So let's go ahead and put everything together. So here I've got my card base, and yeah, I love using card bases. If I don't have to make one, I won't. So I'm going to go ahead and glue down because I am absolutely out of tape runner. So I will get me some more tape runner before I finish all 20 of these cards. So, and let's see, I think I've only got about 3 or 4 of them done, and I'm like, I'm done. I can't keep using glue. It takes me too long, and then it's wet. I don't like the wet. I like it. I love glue for 99% of my projects. But when I'm doing like a card and I don't want to make sure it doesn't warp or anything, which thankfully it hasn't. I'm using, you know, a minimal amount of glue, and it's not like a project, you know, like a lot of our projects where we, you know, just got to make something that's sturdy and we have to use a lot of glue to make sure it doesn't come apart. So this is great. It's just a simple card. Okay, so there is my checkerboard pattern. There's my picnic blanket right there. Now, this, let me give you a little tip here. I actually use this twice. Not only to cut this out, but to frame these pieces. So here I have my 2 clouds, and I've already glued the 2 clouds together. And so they're going to go right there. So you can see, I'm going to bring it to the camera a little bit more instead of trying to adjust the camera, because every time I do, I bump it. You can see you have the stitching that matches. That's because when I put these together, I ran them through the top of the frame, and I did the same for the grass. So it perfectly matches my background piece there. And if you hear snoring, that is my dog snoring in the background. I do apologize for that. But she's it's early morning. She's had her little breakfast. She's ready to take her little nap. All right, let's get the clouds on there. And, whoops. Go line it up. Press it down. And see, you can see how perfectly lined up the stitching is. I love the stitching. I love the faux stitching because I don't think I really have the patience for a lot of stitching. I tried it on a couple of projects. I didn't really like the way it turned out, you know, using my sewing machine. And, you know, it's just, honestly, it's a pain in the butt to bring out the sewing machine. I don't have a permanent place for it because I don't really sew anymore. I haven't really sewed things in years, honestly. And I love the look. I'm kind of an impatient crafter. So here's a grass. And again, you can see how well it's lined up. So cute. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and stick this seam. And that's what I'm loving about long fawn, because before I chose it, actually, you know, I went on Pinterest and I followed a lot of boards and I watched a lot of videos of people doing long fawn, and I just think it's just simply cute. And I love that everything can just be such a cute little scene, and that's really what I was looking for in doing this little project. And when I text my daughter the prototype, and she absolutely loved it. I said, well, good, because it's going to take me a while to make 20 of these suckers, because I'm still die cutting things out, yeah. So I'm trying to die cut most everything out, but I wanted to get through a couple of them and make sure that's exactly what I liked, and wanted to make sure I didn't want to make any changes to it. But okay, so there we go. There's the scene on the background. It's so cute. I love this picnic. It's just adorable. So let's go ahead and pop in. Oh, got a little spot there. We're going to pop in the little watermelon right here. But before we do that, we are going to stamp some more ants. Because what's a picnic without ants? Okay, and I'm going to use some of the Distressed Oxide, the black soot. I'm loving this one. And ink it up real nice. And we're going to stamp it right there. I'm going to have to get this in a little bit closer here, guys. Sorry. Stamp it right there towards the bottom of the green grassing. I really should have stamped this before. Oh, see, I smudged it a little bit. Yeah, okay. Well, that does not make me happy one bit, but it's always better to stamp on just that one piece before you start, you know, like before you assemble it. It just makes the stamping easier, so you can see where I smudged a little bit. Because ordinarily, you know, you know, if you just put the right amount of pressure, it turns out perfectly. And I put a little too much pressure on there. Well, it happens. But we're going to finish this card out just the same. I may not use this one. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm such a perfectionist, and then other times I'm like, yeah, whatever. So I guess it depends on what mood I'm in. After I've done 20 of these, it may just have to fly. It may just be my card. Maybe my invitation. And that's fine. And there's the little watermelon. Now we got this teeny tiny little die cut ant. It's so adorable. And he's going to go right on top of the watermelon, because he is chowing down already. His little friends are about to join him, but he is chowing down. And I used the tiniest piece of foam adhesive that I could possibly cut, so he would stick out right there. And then let's go ahead and put our stork down. And, oops. These are the foam dots, the foam adhesive from Dollar Tree. Sometimes they're very easy to work with, but this batch that I've been working with just seems to be a little difficult getting the stuff off the back. Okay, so we're going to place him right about there, and we're going to hang him just a little bit over the edge of this seam right here, because I really like it. It just really speaks to the whole movement of him flying in. And then we're going to do the Let's Celebrate. Now for the Let's Celebrate, there wasn't a die cut. I simply just cut 1-inch piece, stamped it, and then used this to do the edge. I just slipped it right in there like this and did the edge instead of trying to cut that. So that's a nice tip if if you're doing about 1 inch. I don't think you can fit maybe a hair more than that in there, but it's perfect for a 1 inch strap. And we're gonna kind of do the same thing right here as we did with the stork and hang it a little bit off. And make sure that's even, but we don't want it to go off the card because it still has to go in an envelope. Look how cute that is. And then for the last little bit, we're going to put a little bit of the glossy accents on the watermelon to make it look real juicy. So it's probably very hard to see on the card here, but yeah, there we go. You can see a little bit. So it has that nice little touch. It looks very juicy. Sorry about bouncing the table. And let's hopefully this stuff will come out. And it won't. Oh, yep, it will. There we go. And I put the ant on there first because obviously I don't want to have to hang around and wait to apply the ant later. So I'm just filling in right up to and right around the ant. Okay. Now, and I'm going to take it and I like to tap a little bit. It helps even out those little bumps in there. Sometimes I feel like it doesn't work very well. It probably depends on how hard I can tap. But there we go. And now we'll have some glossy accents. It's, of course, will dry clear like that one. Alright guys, tell me what you think. I'm loving it. I kind of like making cards now because I used to kind of hate it. But thanks so much for thanks so much for watching my video, and please leave me a comment below and I'll catch you on the next video.